Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Today we're going to be going through the starter heroes at your disposal when you start GODFORGE. This is going to be the same starter heroes that you will be able to select for the alpha, which is due to come through in July as well, if we stay on track. We've seen a lot of speculation, whether it's H-Lock, Gecko Mayhem, who else has been doing it? Ragewood, Adventure of Adams, Optimized Gaming, a bunch of the different content creators who have been following GODFORGE and doing videos on a kind of weekly basis. We had one yesterday from Charlie Magni, I think that's how you say it. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyway, some speculation about who they're going to be. So let's take you through kind of like the tutorial experience and yeah, what we're going to expect. So you start off with our cool opening cinematic. You know what? I've not watched this in a little while. Let's just watch it through again. It does set the scene. Rah, giving someone the smackdown. It's too good. I love it. I love it. Gilgamesh having a chat with the crow. Brunhild getting ready for battle. Let's go. Wow. It's all kicking off. So we will open with the cinematic. For those people that have seen it already, it's fully skippable and you can go straight into the cinematic. But ultimately, Brunhild has just tried to fight Ra. Ra's giving it the big un, and Brunhild needs some support. And what better than to be supported by 3 starter heroes? So first off, Hell's Blood Ramsays. Is there no end to them? Ramsays needs to step up. Ra's chosen will fall Valkyrie, just like the others. We get a core ability off. There's still a couple of little bugs in here, but he takes a few down. Guan Yu then steps up and says, "One still stands, allow me." And basically what we're doing here is we're just showing you what different abilities exist in the game, right? The basics of gameplay. So I've got a basic ability that just takes one down, and we move on to the next wave. And our third starter hero, Lady Zoc, or Shock, I think it is, steps up and says, "They seem eager for death. How strange, but I will oblige." And she comes in with her ultimate ability, and it just shows you there's a third skill available for each of the heroes. It's a very basic tutorial. Ra then comes in to lay down the smack. And we move on to kind of like the basics of summoning. So we'll let Ra do his hit, and I like this one actually. "We'll snuff out your flickering light, godling. Flickering light, feel the power of the sun." And Ra smacks everyone down, and we move on. We then move on to the hero select screen, which is actually being completely changed, but the vibe is still the same. You confirm who you are, and you will get a choice of 3 of the starter heroes. And when you go into each hero, it will give you a breakdown of their skills, and you can kind of like choose which one you want to go for. So we're going to go into that skill breakdown in this video. Okay, so we do have a new Sanctum Screen. It is still 2D. It's been made into 3D right now, but this one's kind of like closer to the finished piece that we're after. This is the actual 2D artist mock-up, and making sure that all of the elements are in the right place. And, you know, we're no longer using sort of AI generated stuff for this, which is cool. Yeah, a lot of these screens are being redone right now, ready for the alpha. So let's go into the hero screen quick. You can see as well, a bunch of these different screens are being worked upon right now and improved. So let's check out our 3 starter heroes. Let's start then with Guan Yu. So Guan Yu, they're all rares, obviously. Guan Yu is a rare. He is a Slayer who basically specializes in damage. He is from the Order faction or alignment. Let's go into his abilities here. So he has got a 20% in all battles increased attack ability. His basic Cold Steel attacks an enemy for X damage. Obviously that will say what it is. We do have a little details button that tells you like the percentage multiplier from his attack stats. So this is 300% attack multiplier. Still some weirdness here, but we know about it. If the target is under drain, deals additional damage equal to 5% of the target's max HP. So you've got enemy max HP if drain is out there. So for the core ability then, Crescent Slash, on a 4-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies for 400% attack and has an additional 25% chance to strong hit an enemy. If the enemy is defeated, reduces the cooldown of this ability by a turn. And then we've got his ultimate ability here, Frostfair Blade Dance. So it costs 1,000 divinity to activate the ult. He attacks 4 enemies at random for X damage, 120 times percent of attack. Each attack a 35% chance to place drain on a target. So you can pretty much spread drain all over the place, which obviously helps that A1 ability. And how do you gain divinity here? You're gaining it through defeating enemies. His passive skill, which if you've understood the imprints system we've got, basically part of your passive can be imprinted onto any weapon down the line. So sometimes rares might just be strong for you because of their passives. But this passive here, Relentless Resolve, I don't think there's anything else in the details here, deals 20% increased damage to enemies under drain. So you could also synergize this with someone else who applies like an AoE drain as a base skill and then just ramp your damage up in general. So Lady Zoc also got the same aura. Lady Shock, I think it should be. Looking pretty sweet. A basic ability then. Attack an enemy for 300% of your attack. Then has a 35% chance to place bleed on the enemy. For the core ability, Vision Serpent attacks all enemies for 400% attack and has an additional 25% chance to strong hits. If the enemy is defeated, place speed up 2 on this hero for 2 turns. And then we've got a ultimate skill here with the same 1000 divinity required. Attacks all enemies for 250% attack 2 times. Each attack has a 35% chance to place 1 stack of bleed on the target. And again, you get divinity for defeating enemies in battle. And then we've got here a passive skill deals 20% increased damage to enemies under bleed. And then finally for Ramsay's here, one of our earlier models, but honestly still looks freaking cool. So he has got Curse of the Aru, attacks an enemy, 35% chance to place acid on them. The core ability is a 400% attack hit. Again, additional chance to strong hits. If an enemy is defeated, increase the turn meter of this hero by 30%. And then we've got the ultimate. Attacks all enemies for 500% damage with a 75% chance of placing acid on each enemy for 2 turns. Same type of vibe in terms of how they gain divinity. And then we've got General of the Nile as the passive. Deal 20% increased damage to enemies under acid. Okay, let's jump into battle and see what their abilities look like. Okay then, let's start with Guan Yu. I've turned on ultimates so that I could just instant ult. Just so you know as well, for those that have been asking, we are working on playtesting different camera views for people that are looking for that. It's definitely on our radar. Let's start with the Guan Yu base ability actually. Basic ability comes in with the smack. Now let's jump to the core ability. We get the swing and down they go. And then on to the ultimate ability here, where he gives the jump in, brings down all the spears of ice, and gives them a smack. Obviously, also with the ability to place drain which will empower our A1 ability as well. Right then, onto Lady Shock. Coming in with her basic ability, gives people the smackdown. We've got her core ability here, coming in with the big baseball bat hit, taking people to the floor. And then her ultimate ability brings in the whack with the chance to apply that bleed debuff. Lastly, let's check out Ramsay's then with his A1 ability. We've seen it now a few times, but damn, it still hurts. We then get his core ability coming in with the scream. And lastly, we can try his ult as well. The flail going across all enemies and one-shots the lot. So I guess, who do you want to try? Who's going to be your first starter when you're playing in the Alpha experience? I've been Simon from Fateless. I'll see you soon.